collaboration between GRU and environmentalists may be in the works after an in-depth analysis.
Members of the Sierra Club are proposing the idea following a year with GRU at the center of a lot of controversy. TV20's Misty Webb tells us how these environmentalists say they can help the utility lower rates.
Residents say they're concerned because they believe with this storm coming, rates will go up, but GRU officials say rates will actually not change. During storms like these, people look for ways to avoid power outages and high costs. Organizers with the Sierra Club say they've been working to analyze GRU's long-range planning process.
The 25 stakeholder members that GRU has been working with, that's not all the people they've been working with. They have had public meetings that are open to the public, and they've had several of those as well.
Members of the Sierra Club say they're working with GRU to discuss a possible reduction in cost.
If there's a BOGO, I go for it. And similarly, I think customers are going to really be excited about saving money. And GRU is also, I think, excited about saving money. That's really the name of the game these days.
In October, GRU released preliminary modeling results for power generation, and leaders with the Sierra Club are pitching an alternate approach. David Hastings says their analysis could reduce electricity costs by $9.5 million.
The wonderful thing is in Florida, solar with battery energy storage is inexpensive. It's a really good value.
Officials say they could reduce costs by increasing energy efficiency and reliance on solar, as well as shutting down the Deerhaven 2 unit. Some of their other findings include relying on more natural gas and investing in new gas plants. Sierra Club leaders say they worked with Grid Lab to do the research. In Gainesville, Misty Webb, TV 20 News.